Hi, I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Bishop.
And this is Love Bites. And on this episode of Love Bites, we're going to talk about forgiveness.
Jennifer, there's a principle I live by that is called we should forgive and forbear much, which is not saying there's some type of limit or some degree of your forgiveness, but that when you practice forgiveness, you put it to a position where the quote says, without love, there's no forgiveness. And without forgiveness, there's no love.
Yeah.
I like what the quote of the lyric Beautiful Ones by Prince says, would you run to me if somebody hurt you, even if that somebody was me? Ooh, that's powerful.
It is. Other things that you were saying that were powerful is forgiveness is an act. First and foremost, with forgiveness, you have to know how to forgive. And a lot of us don't know what forgiveness really is because we haven't forgiven ourselves. It also is truly entwined with love. I may not know how to truly love myself, and that's why forgiveness is such a hard thing to do. So, first we have to look at ourselves. Can I forgive me? Do I know what forgiveness looks like so that then secondly, I can then forgive somebody else, because it's hard to do something that you've never done, particularly with the gravity of what you may have to forgive. And then knowing what your limit is, you need to forgive, because forgiveness releases you from the bondage of, letting somebody else be responsible for your happiness. So forgiveness is paramount. But I do believe, I'm firmly believing that it does start with ourselves first. Before we can forgive anybody else, we need to learn what forgiveness is for us. Thus, we'll learn what love is, and love will allow us to understand what grace and mercy is for somebody else.
And if not, you have the residue of resentment. Without that forgiveness, resentment sets in, and then you're walking around angry. And you got to understand that anger is almost poison to your spirit. It's poisonous to your soul, poisonous to your feelings and your heart. And it's not that, that's not natural. I mean, that's what people go through when they're hurt.
Yeah.
But you can't stay in that hurt locker.
No.
You got to get yourself out of there by taking the key from the inside of your own emotional state and unlocking yourself out of that prison. Speaking of prison, the late, great Nelson Mandela had a quote about resentment. He said, resentment is like you drinking the poison and expecting your enemy to die from it. Stop poisoning yourself by holding on to that level of resentment from the lack of forgiveness. Yeah.
And then after, we've done a self-examination, looked at ourselves, and then we're able to look at it from our partner's perspective. We have the greatest gift of all is looking at it from God's perspective.
Yes.
We have to turn to Him and spend the most time understanding forgiveness through Him, because it's all because of Him.
Well, Jennifer, before we go, I want to bring up one last part of forgiveness that we didn't talk about. The power of saying, I'm sorry. Just try it. Yeah. And be prepared to give the explanation of what you're sorry for. Yeah. See, a lot of people think the words are powerful by themselves. But what's more powerful, what multiplies it, enhances those words, is the reason why you feel apologetic.
Yeah. My mom told me, don't say I'm sorry, say I apologize. Because if you're a smart aleck like me, you may say, I know you're sorry. But what are you apologizing for? So,
Really?
Really. You have to be deliberate. I think you're supposed to be deliberate in your words.
That's just digging all in the wound.
Well,
I mean, don't do that, y'all. If they say I'm sorry, that's the best way to know
teach
how to
them how to say
it.
I apologize. You're not sorry, you apologize.
Yes. All right, y'all. This has been Love Bites.
See you soon.